Hello and welcome back to a new edition of Jonesin for Wins. I'm Craig Havens, your host, and with me is Jonathan Almanzar. Today we're going to discuss the Eagles' win over the Dallas Cowboys in Philadelphia. We're going to talk about the goods and the bad, and we're also going to talk about, we're going to give out the Glory Hole Award for this week. But it should be a fun episode. Jonathan, what are your thoughts on the game? Just a top overview.
Remember when Aaron Rodgers that one year goes, relax to everybody? That's what I feel like the Cowboys should have said last night, right
That's
after.
where you are?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm actually more confident in them right now than if they had won.
First half, how'd you feel?
I felt like, okay, this is who Cooper Rush is. That's how I felt. This is who Cooper Rush is. We're finally seeing it. I know Chris Collinsworth was about to do some terrible things to Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts played okay. He played okay, but they had 40-yard fields at the most. Like, they had no distance that they had to travel. When Zeke ran the ball the first time and Chris Collinsworth is like, oh, he can't get anywhere tonight. I was like, he ran the ball one time. What are you talking about? Like,
I'll tell you this. When Cooper threw the ball the first time, I knew we were in trouble. We had a linebacker covering, who was it? White covering
CeeDee
Lamb. And that ball very easily could have been picked off. It was a bad decision. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I jumped in there.
Anyway, I see. So I watched the game and I thought, okay, we came back. We played well. Our defense did good enough to win. If they hadn't had short fields, our defense would have done really well. And then I think that with Dak Prescott in behind center, it would have been a totally different game. So it didn't bother me at all. I keep saying the Cowboys are going to lose, 3 more times this year, and this was one of them. So now they have 2 more losses to go. But I'm completely fine with how the game turned out. I thought we looked decent, even though we looked terrible. And you know what is another weird thing? We had 10 penalties.
So we had 10 penalties for 72 yards. They had 2, 10 yards.
They were the quietest 10 penalties I've ever seen. Like, I know that one offside.
We had the offsides on the 4th down, which was terrible.
On Fowler, which was terrible, because they were going to just let it go to the 2-minute warning.
Right.
And then
you don't move on that one.
And on 2 kickoffs, Joseph, had the block in the back. We had a lot of block in the backs, I feel like. But they weren't as looming as typically our penalties are, like the story of the game. And to have 10 penalties, you would think that would be the story of the game, but it really wasn't.
So the block in the back on Pollard, you're right, we had 2. I forgot about that. The one from Pollard, I loved it. But it was a bad call, like a bad no call. They should have called that one. That was one of those ones where we talked about where we don't get many of those in our favor. This was totally in our favor. That was such a bad non-call. But, I mean, I'll take it. As an Eagle fan, I think I would have been throwing ice balls down there. But
did it make up for the missed spot on CeeDee Lamb when he stretched out?
We're getting to that.
And the lady ref started over there, but then she got scared and so scooted over to go by the guy who was going.
We'll get to that.
that whole fist. What do you think she was like?
Well, that's 4th down, so that's.
I know what it means, but I felt like she had like a bad experience in life or something, and the guy was holding up his fist, and she's like, "Okay, I'll scoot over half a foot."
We gave them a short field to work with. We did.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, when you look at the numbers on paper, skip the turnovers. When you look at the numbers on paper, you would swear this was a dead even game. And if you had to guess without getting the turnovers, I mean, total yards, Dallas, 315, Eagles, 268. Passing, Cooper Rush outpassed him, 181 to 132. Rushing, 134 to 136, Eagles got that one. First downs, 21 to 22. Plays, 64 to 68. The biggest difference was the time of possession, which I could really care less about, but 25-30 to 34-30. So when you look at that and you were to guess without knowing that we turned the ball over 3 times very easily, you would swear this was a. Oh, sorry. Yes.
I'm saying we turned it over 4 because of that 4th down play.
You're right. No, that is it's turnover on downs. But when you look at this on paper, you would, if you had to guess from those numbers, you'd say, wow, it's either it went into overtime and any team could have, it would be a coin toss
Yeah.
as to who won.
A
Throw in
coin toss.
three interceptions, sorry. Three interceptions, and that changes things.
Yeah.
Turpin had a great, I mean, he fell down on the
Yeah.
opening kickoff. That kind of crushed me a little bit because I really like that kid. But kickoff returns, 96 yards. Punt returns,
Yeah.
3 of them, 36 yards. I mean,
He would have had more too
exactly,
if
yeah.
if Joseph hadn't kept holding.
Our offense, I mean, so listen, I'm giving this. This was the Eagles, and at the first half, I was starting to drink the green Kool-Aid. I was starting to think, you know what? They're right. Maybe we haven't played anybody. Maybe something's wrong here. Maybe there's more wrong. Our coaching was terrible. Our decision making was terrible. This whole game was bad. It was a bad game to watch. And I started to think maybe the Eagles are just better. But I started to calm down, and I realized that in the second half, the Eagles aren't solid finishers in games. They can argue that with me. They're not. They don't finish games. But we actually, did you see, by the way, at halftime when they went to Jason Garrett and they said, halftime adjustments, Jason Garrett? Coach Garrett, or whatever they said. I'm like, they're really going to Jason Garrett for halftime adjustments. They're really going to do this to us. Really.
How about his Fly Eagles Fly? How did you feel about that?
I couldn't care.
Wait, so how about Chris Collinsworth, the first drive or second drive by the Eagles? Jalen Hurts had handed the ball off like 6 times in a row, and Chris Collinsworth is like, he really has a handle on this offense.
I love the guy controlling this offense. The guy, I have faith in him. Yes, he turned and did this.
Oh, man. Hey, here's a weird question.
So, what's that?
Okay.
No,
I have a weird question for you real quick.
Go ahead.
Without Googling a picture of him, does Mike McCarthy have a lazy eye?
I don't know. Only because you've talked about it before will I say yes, but I didn't think so. I've not. Honestly, I can't get over the lack of. If I shaved my beard right now, I don't think anybody would know if I had eyes.
Right.
I don't. I can't get past that. It's weird to me. But go ahead. Does he?
No, but the fact is, if you told anyone that, they're going to think, does Mike McCarthy have a eye? Because he just seems like the kind of guy who would, right?
Yeah.
Is he sitting there sitting at the game?
I have to mention again that you are traveling, which your internet is starting to chop up a little bit on us once in a while. You're in a hotel room someplace in California, I think. And with that, we stop. So we're going to wait and see if he reconnects. But I can give some other. You back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You'd stopped on us, so I was about to give some more stats. No, we had Cooper Rush, 18 of 38, 181 yards, 1 touchdown. Typical numbers for him. I mean, actually, even lower on the completion percentage, but 3 interceptions. That I think seals the deal. But Zeke had 13 runs for 81 yards, 1 touchdown, and he had 6.2 yards per carry. Pollard, 11 carries, 44 yards, 4 yards a carry. CeeDee Lamb, 5 receptions, 68 yards. We had Ferguson with 4 for 40. Hendershot with 2 for 22, and I think he ended up with Ferguson had the touchdown.
Yeah.
Gallup had 2 for 18. And who's Sean McKeon, by the way?
He's the guy that they signed off the practice squad.
Oh, okay.
He's played for 3 years for the Cowboys, or been on the practice squad for 3 years.
Didn't even recognize his name. But yeah, him and Brown both had one. How about Brown's catch in the end zone? Man, I wish that was it. I wish he had landed that. Not for obvious reasons, but he just deserved it. For all he does, he deserved it. But yeah, it was a rough start, and I'll give coaching credit because unlike Jason Garrett, and that's where I was going with this halftime deal with asking Jason Garrett what the halftime adjustments would be. Unlike him, we actually made some adjustments that really did. I wish we had done them mid first half, but it is what it is. We actually, you started to feel like we were coming back, and I started to realize that once again, the Eagles are not.
Yeah.
They're winnable. Now, both the Cowboys and the Eagles and I really haven't paid much attention to the Giants except they may be for real, which I have another question for you later. But their their schedules are pretty easy. The Cowboys and the Eagles. It's they're going to the playoffs. Both teams, unless there's some kind of dramatic drop off, they're both going to the playoffs. Now, I'm starting to think that the Eagles will end up taking the division, but they have too many
It,
games
it
left, and that can make a difference.
isn't it crazy that the Cowboys could end up 13-4 and end up in third place
Yeah.
in the NFC East at 13-4?
So,
That's insane.
but yeah, I like. What are your thoughts on the Giants right now? Where do you feel they are?
Nah,
I'm giving them more and more credit, man. They're moving.
nah.
They're
I,
believing in themselves, and man, they're 5-1. They're better than we are right now.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
better than we are, but
It's,
their
I
record is
mean,
better than we are.
The Cowboys did beat them with Cooper Rush as quarterback.
Eagles
So,
Giants, who wins?
Eagles. Yeah, and
New
I don't
York.
think it's close.
You don't think they
Huh?
split? You think they split? You think Eagles take both games?
I think the Cowboys beat the Giants twice, and the Eagles beat the Giants twice.
All right. Then
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I watched that game on the plane, and I just was not impressed, man. With the Giants, just wasn't impressed. So yeah, I don't know. Hey, I mentioned that about penalties earlier.
yeah,
We were offsides on a kickoff.
yeah. You didn't see that? The guy jumped.
I did.
It's very difficult to do, but it happens. It's one more penalty we needed. Actually,
Yeah.
that one doesn't hurt. So I mean, whatever.
So would you? The thing you were gonna say?
Well, I was going to ask about. I mean, you had already brought it up a little bit. The fourth down, and this was where
Yeah.
coaching kills me the most, because he stretched over, and it doesn't. What bothers me the most is somebody needs to say, I get it. If we're close, we're going to line right up. We're going to go for it. But there's two coaching problems there. It was too close. It was too close. That's when the coach says, hold on, I want to take a look at this. Or he at least talks to the coordinators up above looking down, because they can take a view and say, you know what, let's challenge this. So slow things down. Hold on, we're not gonna run this one. Let's wait. So we didn't. Whatever. Let's, even if we don't, whose hands do you want the ball in when we're playing the Eagles? Do you want it in Cooper Rush's hands to throw it, or do you want it in Zeke's hands or Pollard's hands to run it? I don't
Yeah.
even care. Let's take what the Eagles already showed us, what you've talked about in the past. Let's go into a wing formation. Let's go into a wishbone formation. Have those guys shoving Rush forward. I don't care. We had, what, a foot and a half? Not even like a half a yard?
Yeah.
But we go into this mindset where we're going, let's give Cooper the ball. This is too important.
So a lot of things. If it's third down, I think, yeah, just run it to the line, snap it, and fall forward.
Sure.
Third down, not on fourth down. On fourth down, you say, let's see if this thing made it. Let's see if he stretched his arm out and got a first down. If he didn't, we can call it timeout. It's the first half. We always go into halftime with 3 timeouts anyway. Let's call a timeout. Let's set up a play.
I think the idea was to catch him off guard.
Yeah. So what? I get it. But if you run like a bootleg pass, they're not caught off guard anymore.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like catching them off guard is
where
going.
It would have been
quickly.
nice to either quarterback sneak or just give it to Zeke.
Catching someone off guard isn't snapping the ball, running backwards a little bit, around the outside, throwing it over. You're giving them time to react then. Like that doesn't. But anyway, so I was watching the Chiefs Bills game, and I had told you last week about my idea of putting the guy in motion and then just having him slam into the quarterback and push him forward. And they did that. Romo called he was like, man, whatever that. Ken Dorsey is a genius. I've never seen that before in my life.
We didn't see it before because it wasn't allowed before. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. But Cowboys could have done that. Like I feel like there was so many calls.
That's no different than what the Eagles did. Right. They just did it in a wishbone. Both running backs push him forward. I mean, first of all, Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to knock him. The guy can bench 800 pounds. Like
squat. He can squat
Squat, not bench.
600
I'm
pounds.
sorry. Yes, squat. Yes, there's a big difference. But he can squat 800 pounds, and that's where he needs the legs, anyways. He's going
You
to
don't
move the
think Cooper
pile,
can
but
squat 600 pounds?
600. I don't know. It's a lot. It's more than I'm
You
squatting.
don't no. You don't think Cooper Rush can? You don't
Oh,
think he can squat 600 pounds? But see, Cooper, that he could get his feral animal instinct and he could just like weave his way. I feel like burrowing is what Cooper Rush was created to do. So they snap the ball and he starts burrowing into the line and he finds himself squeaking
as
through on
long
the
as
other
his knees
side.
don't hit the ground.
I don't think they would. Look at him, man. I could see him just getting like. I think he's the kind of guy who
Like
can go on
start
his
halfway
tiptoes.
up and kind of worm his way through, and then
Yeah,
just
I think
stretch the ball out on the other side of the.
I I really believe that Cooper Rush could, from standing straight up, put his arms behind his back, kneel all the way down and touch his nose without his knees touching the ground and lift himself back up, all from his weirdo ankle strength. And so he could just get in there, burrow through.
So I did hear a podcast earlier today where somebody was calling to cut Cooper Rush. I think that's overkill.
I think we could
I,
trade him.
I think
We
fans
should trade him.
have I think fans have this thing where it's all or nothing.
Yeah,
Overreact, overreact, overreact.
not us though.
No, I was gonna say I don't ever overreact. I'm
Neither.
not ready to actually throw something at my TV back here when I was watching the game last night. I I was totally in a great mood. It was perfect time for anyone to just call me and say, "Hey, how you doing?" So yeah, I don't understand why people do that, but no, they were calling to pull Cooper Rush or cut Cooper Rush. Where are we going after that?
Yeah.
So all right, so what did you like about the game?
I actually liked the defense. I didn't think the defense was bad.
I agree.
I liked our running game. I liked how once again we were getting linebackers matched up on our wide receivers. Um, Even right before half, I mean, Michael Gallup was so wide open in the end zone, and Cooper Rush almost threw that interception. You know that
Yeah.
it was just a terrible, terrible pass. I felt like we had good plays called. I felt like we had receivers open. I I felt pretty comfortable with everything except for the offsides on the kickoffs and all the special team penalties. I feel like we had a lot of special team penalties, and um, I mean, isn't three special team penalties a lot?
Yeah, I didn't count
Yeah.
where they came from, to be honest with you. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we had Kelvin Joseph had two for holding on
Yep,
returns that got the
you're right.
returns brought back, and then we were lined up offsides or jumped offsides on a kickoff.
It started before the kicker.
Yeah, and then yeah, so that I didn't like, but pretty much everything else, I was okay with pretty much everything else. You?
No, I was happy. I was actually really happy with the defense, and you can argue Eagles defense did better. You can. I don't know that you'd win it. I mean, total yards 315 to 268. We gave them a short field. I mean,
Yeah.
and quite honestly, we just kept putting our defense back. Like,
If
oh, they scored. You're feeling a little deflated. Let me give you another shot. Here we go. Let me throw it. It was terrible, and we always put them back against the wall. But
so we in the first quarter we went punt, 3 and out, right? 3 and out, interception, turnover on downs, interception.
yep, we punted twice in the game.
So if we flipped quarterbacks, if we had traded Jalen Hurts for Cooper Rush before the game, what would the final score been? Do you think?
It might have been the same reverse because the numbers were similar, with the exception of the interceptions.
I think it would have been. I think it would have been 42-3 if it was reversed. Because we would have sacked him so many. Because he can't run, and at
Yeah.
least Jalen Hurts could run away a little bit from our guys. But we would have, if Cooper Rush was on their team, we would have sacked him 10 times.
Yeah, 4 sacks on the game, by the way.
Yeah.
Armstrong's having a great year,
Yes,
and
he
a
is.
quiet great year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I when Fowler, so on their first touchdown, Fowler, that was the right at the end of the first quarter when Fowler, uh,
Yeah.
he was my glory hole candidate. It wasn't even close. I was so furious at that because
Yeah.
it's a field goal, or maybe they'll go for it at the start, but you don't move when there's
Right.
that time on the so that irked me. And then Miles Sanders walks into the end. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
it was over. It was.
That that middle rush defense is still scary for me. Like we've got to figure that out, and I'm a little worried
Rush
the next
defense
two
has done
weeks.
well this year.
Yeah, but we didn't look that great. I mean, they ran right up the middle. I felt like whenever they tried, they ran right up the middle. If they tried to go around the outside, it wasn't that great. And I am a little worried about Detroit and Chicago coming up because they're like second and fifth in the league or something like that in rushing. And
I'm feeling so much better right now, and I don't totally I don't worry about it the way I used to. I listen. I think in my whatever it was that we had called. I think I said
well, I
that.
got
I think I said Jalen Hurts would have more rushing yards than Cooper Rush had passing yards, and I mean Jalen Hurts
you're
had
wrong.
19.
Yeah,
So
I I did get a point for picking the Eagles to win.
you did, you did.
Yeah,
I'll give you that point. I mean,
thank you.
if that's a point you're proud of, then
And didn't I get the Cowboys score exact?
I don't. Hold on. I'm sure I got it over here. I didn't. You gave me a little time today to plan.
I know.
Um,
So, are we going to do? We're going to talk about next week's game a little bit, right?
yes,
And we got to give out some glory hole awards.
31-13. No,
No, that was
I
with
lied.
Dak playing.
Yeah, 20-21.
Oh, okay. I missed the Cowboys score. Yeah,
I don't remember
so,
Zach's yet either. I didn't. Usually I go through and I check all the
I know.
when
I know
we do
you're
it.
good.
But you gave me short
You're good.
notice today. It's the day after.
I know.
I didn't get to prepare the way I usually do.
Yeah, I didn't get to let this rage build inside me either, like I
That is
normally do.
true.
I'm either most raging the moment the game ends, or a day and a half later when I start hearing things and have time to process. But like right now, I'm a little chill. I do. So can we talk about the Glory Hole Award for a little bit?
Sure, we can.
I think so. My
Are we
first
awarding the
instinct.
glory hole right now? Is that what you want to do? We can. I don't mind.
I mean, yeah, let's talk through it.
All right.
So I was initially like you, Fowler was, and it was paining me, because I like Fowler, but so he was up there in the Glory Hole Award, and then it became Joseph because he kept getting those stupid. He's on the field 4 times a game, and he gets penalties every time he's on the field, and he laughs and does this when he gets his penalties and stuff. I was just like, man, I wanted them to Robbie Anderson him and just be like, go to the locker room, get out of here. And then it became that interviewer who interviewed Cooper Rush's wife and Cooper Rush. And okay, so she's like, Cooper Rush was like, why are you coming to the game? Really?
Right.
I didn't believe this whole conversation.
that was a really weird. Right? Yeah. Why are you coming? It's almost like he's having an affair in Philadelphia, and he doesn't want. Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, and he's like, "What? Wait, you're coming to the game? What? Tickets are really expensive.
Is going to be here.
Tickets are really expensive. The dude makes $950,000 a year. Okay, how much can a ticket from Dallas to Philadelphia be? I just flew from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to San Luis Obispo, California, which is in nowhere land, and it cost me like $600. It can't be that expensive to fly there. And then when she said this, and I fly all the time, when she's like, but they use their miles to buy the ticket. What airline are they flying that they can use their miles to buy the ticket? You can use your miles to upgrade. You can use your miles maybe to get a discount on the ticket. I have like almost 1 million miles. I can't buy a ticket. You think that lady who's not even going to go see her husband play in Philadelphia has so many miles?
Yeah,
she's using them to buy a ticket?
I'll just take a nap while you continue.
I mean, he makes $950,000 a year. You know who I saw in the airport yesterday?
No.
In Fort Lauderdale Airport? Ryan Tannehill, his wife and 2 kids.
Wait, how did they afford the tickets?
I don't know. I guess maybe miles. Maybe they got miles. What was interesting is they looked inside the United Club but didn't go in. I wanted to be like, I'll let you be my guest, Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Ryan, I got you. Your wife and kids stay outside. I'm not bringing them in, just you.
But so anyway, I was like, either Cooper Rush and his wife, like the Rushes, need to get the glory hole, or this lady doing this interview that's super boring and lame needs to get the glory hole, or Chris Collinsworth. I mean, we should make just a giant glory pit for Chris Collinsworth and throw him in there and be like, here's you and Jalen Hurts, and you guys go have a fun time. But I'm gonna vote. If I had a vote, my vote would be for Cooper Rush, even though I feel bad giving it to him because this is the last time this is the last time he is going to be play for the Dallas Cowboys, and it sucks that on his last time, and he didn't do anything bad. He just
playing for them, but it's his last
he
time.
didn't. No, this is his last time playing, and he didn't really do anything bad. He just Cooper rushed himself.
So
that's all he did. He just became real.
He rushed it.
He Cooper rushed it.
So I went and I started, and it was Fowler. It was gonna be, and then it was Cooper Rush, and then it was coaching, and it stayed coaching. That first half was poorly run, period. It was. The whole thing was just poorly run. But you know what? Like, Fowler didn't hear his name again. Not another issue. Coaching, halftime, they made adjustments, and they made
can't make adjustments at halftime.
Huh?
Remember when the clapper said that? You can't make adjustments. If you're having to make adjustments at halftime, something's really wrong.
That's why I thought it was funny they asked him.
I know.
Heck, he could have gotten the glory hole just for, but all right. But then, you know who didn't change was Cooper Rush. And again, I like Cooper Rush as a backup quarterback. I think there's better backup quarterbacks up there. He is not, in my mind, better than any starting quarterback in the NFL. Not any starting quarterback in the NFL.
Wait, I have a question. Currently starting, or ones that are starters on the depth chart? Because we're looking at Bailey Zappi. We have a Bailey and a Skyler starting. You know, it's like the millennials have taken over the National Football League. We have a Bailey and a Skyler. First names that are starting in the NFL.
Yeah. All right, so it would be starting quarterback, not currently, but roster starting quarterback. Okay. Including Geno Smith. Who, by the way, is he for real? That was the question I was going to ask you before. Is Geno Smith for real?
Yeah, 100%.
So what is the issue? Was it Russell Wilson, or was it Seattle? Did Seattle just put Russell Wilson in a good spot to win? Because right now in Denver, he's not.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
You bring in Geno Smith, you put him in his place, and it's like he's the new Russell Wilson, and you move Russell Wilson over to Denver, and he's the new Tebow.
Honestly, I think the only thing Geno Smith had to do was mature a little bit and not make it where players wanted to punch him and break his jaw. Remember when his own teammate punched him in the face and broke his jaw? I think now that he's gotten past that part of it and he's like grown up a little bit, I think he's a good quarterback.
But what happened to Russell Wilson? He just
there's a chance that he's severely injured, right? Didn't we hear that?
You know what? But
severely injured. That's why he's not throwing the ball deep, and that's why he's doing all dump offs.
But why is he playing then?
I don't know. Because who's their backup?
Because
some teams don't like putting in their backup quarterbacks, I guess.
So all that all said, there he is. He's there. I'm sorry. That's his second time, right?
I know, yeah, and I kind of feel bad. I wish we hadn't given it to him last week, but he deserved it. So.
I'd love to give. It was a bad game, but I think most people adjusted, and So let me ask you. All right, so people like him. People think that he should replace Stack. When the pocket collapses, do you trust him? Like, because he had a couple good throws outside the pocket, but I don't feel he can run. I don't feel he can do a lot of stuff. He's a good manageable guy. He's a good guy to manage when everything's gone. When I have my car and it breaks down, and I've got a backup car and I trust it. I'm not going to replace it, even though it starts and my other one doesn't. I'm just going to use it for that time. and I'm going to treat it differently. But
Yeah.
that's me. So, what are you thinking on your? As long as we're here, what are you thinking on your power rankings? Where are you at? I mean, it was an ugly, ugly, ugly week of football. It was ugly. Any team that was given a win just dropped it. So
Yeah.
where are we? What are we looking at?
So I'm going to put Buffalo 1 on my
Okay.
power rankings. I'm going to put Kansas City 2 on my power rankings. And I'm going to put, this is where I'm struggling. I don't think Minnesota's good.
Reese Hard.
Obviously, San Francisco sucks. They just lost to the worst team in the NFL.
That was I. I got nothing. I don't even know where to go with that one because that was over. I thought that was the easiest win. I would have picked them.
Yeah. Tampa sucks. Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm at Buffalo's 1, Kansas City is 2, and I'm gonna have to say the New York Giants are my third team in the power rankings.
I'm really confused. I asked you if the Giants were real. You said no.
No, they're not. They're not.
I asked
They're
you
not.
if you thought they'd win. You said no.
No, I don't think they will.
Yeah, you've got them 3 in power rankings, which means you think that. Where are they?
I'm not putting the Eagles in my power rankings, just so you know. I'm not doing it. I don't think they're good. They don't deserve to be there. They
win.
Yeah, I hate them.
They win. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Mine are simple.
How about you?
So the Bills earned it, the number 1 spot in my opinion.
Okay.
The number 2 spot, I know you're gonna hate it. It's the Eagles. They win. They're winning right now. There's no. I'm with you on the booing. I would throw ice balls at myself. I get it, but here we are, and I mean, listen. I don't think they've got the greatest quarterback in the league, but they're coaching him well enough to be winning games. They beat us, and I had us in the rankings, so there they sit. I took us out. I don't think we can prove ourselves until we face the Eagles again either, unless we're really dominating these next few games. I mean, I don't know. I picked Green Bay as my falling lack of power last week, and man, they lost. So we play them. We've got what? We've got Detroit. Then we've got who's the next one? It's another bad team we play after Detroit. Chicago. Then we got a bye week. Then we got Minnesota, Green Bay. Like we got Green Bay or Minnesota. Minnesota's going to be you may not think they're real. I think they're real. I put Kansas City in. Actually, Minnesota was up there with me. My third team is Kansas City, and I think they were on the edge. They were almost out, but I still think they're a good team, and I think that they'll bounce back. That's where I'm at.
And who do you have as your out of power?
My out of power? So I went back and forth between 2 teams. Tampa Bay and San Francisco. San Francisco lost bad, and it's. I would be embarrassed right now if I was a San Francisco fan, but I don't know if Tampa's going to recover. So I'm going with Tampa Bay. I don't think they recover from where they're at. I think Tom's mind is elsewhere, and I can't say I blame him, but I don't think that team's got anything to stand on. Maybe it was Gronk all this time. Maybe Gronk is the reason that Tom Brady has all the rings. Maybe.
That's funny. I'm gonna go with
Go Gronk.
Tampa as well. Yeah, that was my pick. I mean, they lost to the Steelers.
Yeah. With
Mitch Trubisky as quarterback.
Was it Mitch? I didn't even see the game. I thought it was.
It started out with the rookie, and
then
he got hurt.
Oh, okay.
He got hurt. Pickett, and he got
Yes.
hurt, and Mitch Trubisky came in and led them to a comeback win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tampa too.
Oh, Tampa too. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, are we missing something that we?
Yeah. Next week. Next week scores.
Oh yeah. So next week we've got Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We have a special guest too, don't
I'm
we?
just about to say we got a special guest, Jack Doyle, who is a Detroit Lions fan.
I cannot
We're
believe
gonna
you
find
found
him.
one.
We're gonna find fans for everything.
I couldn't believe you
Credit
found
your
one.
brother on finding him, but we're excited to have a Detroit Lions fan. I got to find some other fans for coming up. I need to find a Washington fan.
Is he? I need to ask this. Is he really a Detroit Lions fan, or is he just wanting to be on TV?
From what?
So,
Oh, yes, as our special guest, watched by tens of people. Yes, I think this is his 15. You'll have to ask him that. I don't think anyone really boasts about being a Detroit Lions fan. In fact, there was a commercial last night during the game on, I don't know, apparel or something, and they were showing these Detroit fans, like a heart with a lion in the middle. I'm like, you know what? I give Browns fans and I give Detroit Lions fans a lot of credit because I don't know if I could do it. I don't. Well, I guess I'm a Mets fan and a Cowboys fan, so yeah. I mean, but there's
yeah.
there's not a lot of promise there.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Jack Doyle will be joining us. We'll do that tomorrow, and we'll post that on. Well, now we're going to be opening that one on Thursday. This one will still come out on Tuesday evenings. So Tuesday evenings for this one, and Thursday mornings for that one. I'll have it bright and early Thursday morning, probably about 6 o'clock start.
So, I think I'm gonna pick. The Cowboys to win. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys to win.
Well, that's
Is
good.
Dak back?
He should be. He said he was feeling like he should have played this week. So if they don't let him play this game, I would be surprised. I mean, we're going to hear about it. Oh, well, yeah, Dak can win when he's playing Detroit and whatever. I don't care. But yes, I would think that he'd be back next week.
I'm gonna go with the Palindrome 31-13, 13-31. Dallas wins.
All right. I do believe Dallas wins as well. I believe that I think we're going to see a lot more balls in the air. Nope.
Yeah.
But I think I think we'll throw more. I think it's going to be. I think it will be a big game. I'm going to go 35, and I'm going to go to 10. 35-10.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's not far
Detroit's
from yours.
not bad.
It's not far from yours. You said 13-31.
Yeah, Detroit's not bad. I got to remember
not
that.
bad. But you know what? We've got this defense, and I do believe that we're going to keep them down. I do. I believe the defense is true. I do believe that we're not going to give the short field with Dak in there. I believe
Yeah.
that, we're going to move the ball with Dak in there. I believe our running game has been picking up, and I think it's going to continue.
So a couple things I saw this morning. One, the Eagles have scored more points in the second quarter than the Cowboys have scored all season.
Yes.
Just in their second quarters.
Yeah.
They've scored more than the Cowboys have scored in entire points.
Yeah, well, we haven't. Yeah.
Second, we have Green Bay, Tampa, and then us on the point differential. We have the biggest swing of point differential from any teams from last year to this year. We're 10 points under this year point differential where we were last year. Not how many points per game we're scoring.
We've been
scoring
managing the game, though. I don't doubt that. That's not a surprise to me.
We're scoring like 15 points a game less, but our point differential is -10 this year from what it was last year. I think last year we were like 15 or 14, and this year we're like 4, a point differential.
I think that all straightens out. Again, I don't think the Cowboys really have a test until we get to Minnesota, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the Eagles have a test until we come back to Dallas. Well, they'll be tested by Giants. I do believe they'll be tested by the Giants. I still think they split with the Giants.
The number 3 power ranked Giants.
Exactly. But realistically, I don't know that either team really gets a big test coming forward for a while. We've got Minnesota. We got to play the Giants again, and we got to play the Eagles again. So, other than that, I don't know. Can you think of a big game we've got coming up that you're like, ooh, I don't know. You're talking about 2 more losses. Where do you think they're coming from?
We'll probably lose at Green Bay, even though Green Bay's terrible right now. We'll probably lose at Green Bay.
Green Bay just lost to both New York teams, the Jets and the Giants.
I know,
I
I
don't
know.
know that any other team in the NFL can say that, but go ahead.
Yeah. And then I think we'll lose a weird one. Like we might lose to one of those AFC South teams, like the Colts or Texans or Jaguars or Titans. One of them will like Titans. I think we might lose to the Titans. I don't think the Titans are
That's
any
good
good,
talk.
but I think we might lose to the Titans.
Well, they've
So,
got a running back, but I still think our running defense is vastly improved. I mean, we did pretty good last night against the run.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So,
Cool.
that said, I will see you tomorrow. But
Okay.
everybody else out there, thank you very much for watching us. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like us, and follow us. Otherwise, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Jonathan. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.